Welcome to the Confidently Balance Your Hormones podcast. My name is Dee Davidson, and I'm a hormone health expert, master mindset coach, and multiple wellness business entrepreneur. I'm obsessed with helping you experience hormone balance, confidence, self-love, and live a life full of joy. I know we're about to have so much fun together, so thank you so much for pushing play today. And now let's begin. Welcome to the Confidently Balance Your Hormones podcast. This is your guide, Dee Davidson. And my favorite time of year is here, summer. Being a Cancer, I am ecstatic when we hit this time of year because it brings me closer to my love for the beach, water, all things warmth. And along with that comes a lot of products that we don't use year round here in New England. Maybe you might be living somewhere like Florida or Arizona or something where you do use these products year round. So even more importantly, you need to be aware of the chemical exposure and the harm that can be doing to your body when we talk about sun care products, bug products, chlorine in the pools and things like that. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to explore your optimal health and well-being by not only balancing your hormones, but reducing the risk of dis-ease or body being in the state of dis-ease, just like it's spelt, and making sure that you're in the know with things, because I know I've been on this journey for over 2 decades and it can be overwhelming. There is not always a lot of talk in our circles when it comes to hormone disruptors in products. For many years, I was using Bath and Body Works layered on the shower gel, the lotions, the spray-ons, the candles, the room plugins, all of those things. I was using Hawaiian Tropic because I wanted the dark tan. I could smell it just saying the words Hawaiian Tropic, Banana Boat, all of these things. There's not a lot of talk mainstream. It's become a little bit more of a topic. But for many people, it's the last thing they think of. And unfortunately, unless there's a diagnosis such as cancer, or infertility, or autoimmune or something like that, people, they're just on autopilot. Whatever their mom used or whatever their friends at the pool club used, they're just passing around and using. And it's just, something that isn't talked about enough. So I wanted to do this episode today and equip you with the information to make informed decisions. When I started this journey over 2 decades ago, I thought, well, why bother telling that person or pointing it out to them? They probably don't care. Most people don't care. And what I found over the last 2 decades is that it's not that people don't care, it's that they're not informed and not even aware of what is in their products or how it's affecting their family's health. So my belief is if you know something, put it out there, and it's up to the person receiving the information to ignore it or do something with it. But over the years, I've found so many people have thanked me for being the person who delivered the not so fun news. It's not fun to find out that your sunscreen could be causing issues for your children's health or, your chances of conceiving and things like that. I know it's not always a fun message, but it is a blessing to be in the know and have that information. So I'm here today telling you there's no accident that you're listening to this episode, whether you're slightly informed or completely in the dark about this. There's a reason that you've tuned in today. Maybe a friend has shared this episode with you. And my hope is that you choose your health and choose to what I call switch and ditch. We're going to talk about alternatives, things to look for. I'm not going to just leave you with the daunting task of finding replacements for the things that might be harming your family right now. I'm going to give you some ideas, some things to look for, and you can always reach out. Don't forget, you can email me at d@confidentlyloveyourself.com. And that again is DEE, like short for Dolores. My name is really Dolores, and a lot of people don't know that. So summer is that wonderful time of year, as I was talking about, that some of us have just a short time to enjoy. If you live here in New England, you know what I'm talking about. It can be full of outdoor activities, kids' sports, summer ball, beach days, lake days, barbecues, walking outside in that direct sunlight, all of those amazing things. But the one thing that people don't realize a lot of times is that many common summer products contain hormone disrupting chemicals. And companies aren't required to disclose that to you. You have to somehow know that. And if you didn't listen to this, you might have gone on today and gone to tomorrow and still not known it. So a lot of people are in the dark, unless you live in California. California does have a law that says these companies have to disclose. And if you're at CVS, you'll see the signs right on the aisles, or it might be right on the product itself. But if you're not in California, then you're kind of like, it's left up to you to really know all of this. And with everything we have going on in our busy lives, not a lot of people really even thinking or worrying about this stuff unless, again, they've had an issue or someone brought it to their attention. But these chemicals can wreak havoc on your endocrine system, and your endocrine system is what I call your control panel. It's kind of like that central electrical panel in your house. You ever have too many things running, or you trip a switch? Well, you can trip your hormone switches. Your endocrine system, it's this panel that you think from your head to your toes. It's your brain, your nervous system, your thyroid, your adrenal glands, your reproductive system, your metabolism. Everything is controlled, your blood sugar levels, insulin, all of that stuff by your endocrine system. And when you put these foreign chemicals in your body that are called endocrine disrupting chemicals, it can lead to a host of health issues, including hormone imbalance. So if you follow this for hormone imbalance, you may have never thought about the products that you're using over the summer. Infertility, if you know someone's struggling, or in the category I was in, that unexplained infertility, yeah, I was using perfumes and Bath and Body Works and Eucerin for my dry skin and Pantene and Secret. All of those products can have these endocrine disrupting chemicals that are decreasing your chances of being able to conceive, and even cancer. Again, not to be so, this isn't to scare you. I don't like to use scare tactics. I like to stick to facts and what's really going on in science, but it's real. Like if you know someone in California, reach out to them and ask them. There are chemicals that makes me really, really angry in these products that can contribute to cancer. And if you live in California, it's disclosed saying this product has something that can contribute to cancer. So the good news is that you're getting the information today. You have the opportunity to make some switches. It's not the government's fault. They don't do a good job of really anything when it comes to regulation. The FDA doesn't do a good job of it. It's really the companies that we need to push back on, because they know this stuff. It's not like, oh, we didn't know it wasn't safe. Look at all the lawsuits. They just don't care. They choose profits over people. And the way that you can vote is with your dollars and what products you're buying. So stop buying these products that are harming your health, because it's really scary. Toxic body burden is scary. It's not like, you know, if you accidentally ingested rat poison and you could get sick and potentially die immediately. The scary part about these hormone disrupting chemicals, or these chemicals that can contribute to cause, is that they are the small accumulation over time that add to those things like infertility, hormone imbalances, um, weight loss challenges, anxiety, depression, all of those things. So it's really scary because you don't see it right away. It's the accumulation, what we call toxic body burden, that really adds up to the diagnosis down the road. So it's important that even if you're like, whatever, I'm fine, that you realize that you don't want to wait to the I'm not fine, or oh my gosh, I have been diagnosed with cancer or whatever, thyroid disease. to make these changes. You are blessed again today. I'm telling you again, I'm here to deliver it, and there's no accidents. There's a reason you're listening to this today, or someone shared this episode with you. So let's start with bug sprays and hormone disruptors. So I know they scare you. Lyme disease, and I have clients with Lyme disease, is a really scary thing. Of course, no one wants to get Lyme disease. This isn't medical information, or this is not advice. So I want to just say that clearly on here. I'm not responsible if you don't use DEET and you get Lyme or something else. I'm just here to share information, and you have to do your own research and do what you're comfortable with. But DEET, it's in the same family as, if you heard of Agent Orange that was used in Vietnam, or anyone that was affected by that, who there was major lawsuits against that, neurological disorders and things. It's in that same family, and it has been shown to have potential neurotoxic effects. Inhaling these chemicals can lead to chemical-induced asthma, especially in children or the elderly, other respiratory issues. And there are natural alternatives. I love the Pure Haven alternative. I'll put the link under the show notes, or if you go to my website, confidentlyloveyourself.com, I have a tab that's labeled wellness tools, and I put all my favorite brands there for different things, from bug spray to makeup and water filters and all of that good stuff. But there are alternatives that have essential oils like citronella, eucalyptus, lemongrass. I don't have the actual study, but someone brought to my attention, and I did see the videos years ago of catnip oil, pure catnip oil, deterring even ticks. I think the statistic, don't quote me on it, was like it was 10 times more effective than DEET, if you want to look up that study. And for a long time, I used to make my own bug spray, bottle it, sell it, just as something to help people, not for money. And I'd order the catnip oil. It was available on Rocky Mountain Oils, which has really reputable organic and pure essential oils. So you could make your own stuff at home. You do have to rub it into your skin. Make sure that you shake the bottle vigorously when you're doing these things. I'll put a free recipe under the show notes. And I'll likely add that to my wellness tools on my website as well. So if you go to confidentlyloveyourself.com, wellness toolbox, you should be able to use that recipe. And make sure you shake vigorously, because oils settle. Just think about like oil and water, right? And spray it on your skin, not just your clothing. Rub it in. And it's really nice, because when my kids were younger and I used to make this bug spray, and again, there is one by Pure Haven. I'll drop the link here as well. I didn't have to feel like when we had long nights by the fire or making s'mores or got home late that they had to take a bath because they had this awful DEET stuff on. I could feel safe that they would go to bed with this stuff on, and it was natural, and it was just such a better option. We also used it on our dogs. So the catnip oil we used on the dogs. Some essential oils you can't use on animals, so make sure you look into that. But the catnip oil was safe for dogs, and I use that instead of the frontline stuff, which again, there's so many pets with cancer. So it's a great alternative. So bug sprays, make sure that you look into that for all of those reasons. And there are so many hormone disrupting chemicals in bug spray. Sunscreens, oh my gosh, we have been told you have to wear sunscreen. You have to wear sunscreen. And they even say that you need to wear it year round. I'm not sure that I believe that. That's my belief. Again, not medical advice. We are deficient in a lot of things because we're not absorbing the awesome benefits of the sun. Of course, if you're out there for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're light skinned, or you don't want to burn, of course, but I'm not sure that I agree with the sunscreen every single day, winter long, all of that piece of it. But that's up to you, and you do your own research. What I do know is that there are a lot of sunscreens on the market that contain ingredients like oxybenzone, avobenzone, octinoxate, zinc oxide, titanium oxide that's not nanoparticleized, which means that you want non-nanoparticleized, because it can go through the brain barrier. So there's a lot of things, those other things I just mentioned, the oxybenzone, avobenzone, octinoxate, those are all hormone disruptors, by the way. So if you're lathering in these sunscreens, you're messing with your hormones big time. But the titanium dioxide and the zinc oxide, if it is not non-nanoparticle, it can go through the brain barrier. And we know that those things can be linked to things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and things. And when you accumulate things in your brain, it's really hard to detox from things that accumulate in your brain. So you want to look for non-nanoparticleized titanium dioxide, zinc oxide. You want to make sure that you don't have parabens, anything that ends in BENS, bens, or methylparaben, propylparaben. The paraben part is a mimicking chemical. It mimics estrogen and has been known to contribute to things like breast cancer, thyroid dysfunction, reproductive problems. So you want to make sure that you're not using those chemicals that can mimic hormones and interfere with your endocrine system. There is a great face sunscreen by Pure Haven. Again, if you go on the link, it's a sun stick, or you can use the lotion that rubs in really well. I know people are afraid of the white stuff, but this actually rubs in really, really well. And there are no real spray sunscreens that are totally effective. I've found some, but they spray and it's like the big white dot that's stuck on your skin and hard to rub in. And not totally clean. I know you have to do the extra work, and sometimes with kids it's difficult, but spray sunscreens might seem convenient, but they come with their own set of risks. I remember when my kids were really little and I started to learn about this. And I was at the pediatrician's office, and they give you this list of safe sunscreens and bug sprays. And I'm looking at it knowing what I know. And I was horrified because I had been told about all of these things. And in addition to that, I knew that these particles, when inhaled from these toxic bug sprays and sunscreens, can lead to respiratory issues and increase the risk of chemical-induced asthma and even lung cancer. So I asked the pediatrician while I was in there, is this true? And he kind of cringed. If you can picture pediatrician, he's cringing and shaking his head. Yeah, that's kind of true. And I was like, why would you recommend it? And he said, well, it's better than not using sunscreen at all. I don't know about that. How about we just give a list of safe sunscreens, truly safe. But the kicker there too, and I'm not anti-doctor for those of you who know me, we need doctors. They can really help in dire situations. You break a bone, you're in a car accident, you need your appendix out, things like that. But they're humans too. And the big kicker there was when I went to check out and then I saw the Eucerin coupons. And Eucerin, by the way, is the bottom of the oil barrel. A lot of those products have petrolatum, which is a fancy name for petroleum. So you wouldn't go out to your car, lift up the hood and grab some of that and lather in it, right? We know that's a carcinogen. So why would we use Eucerin? But I turned to the receptionist and I asked her, I said, I don't understand. Why would you have this here? You guys know it's the bottom of the oil barrel, right? And then I shook my head and I said, after I just got this list, have you looked at this list of safe sunscreens and bug spray? And she put her hand up. She's sitting in the chair. She put her hand up, cupping so that no one would see her. As she said to me, the doctor would never use any of that on his family. And I was like, that's actually kind of makes me angry and disgusted. And then she explained to me, and this was the first time I don't know, my dad wasn't a doctor. I didn't have anyone in my family that was in the medical profession. She said, well, you have to understand that he is an employee of the local hospital, and the hospital is the one that gives those handouts, and he is mandated he has to give out whatever they say. Well, that was in the light bulb, I don't know, but just be aware of that even if your doctor is saying something is safe, they're not, even oncologists. I've had so many clients. Unfortunately, I think it's 1 out of 2 people will have some kind of cancer in their lifetime. Tell me that even their oncologists never talk to them about these chemicals. So you have to be your own advocate. Do your research. This is really, really happening in our world. And a lot of these chemicals are banned in Europe, Canada, Japan, Australia. It's like craziness. But here, again, profits over people. There are safe choices. So a better choice is to use that mineral sunscreen with non-nano zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. That's non-nano. These ingredients sit on the top of the skin rather than be absorbed. Remember that your skin is a carrier, not a barrier. I don't know why, but for years I never realized that. The statistic that I saw was that 26 seconds, whatever you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream. And it makes a lot of sense, right? If you think about nicotine patches, insulin patches, it's effective. It goes right into your bloodstream. So when you use these mineral sunscreens, it sits on the skin. That's why it is so thick. I know sometimes you're like, oh, this is so white. They've gotten much better at getting them to blend in, but I get it. But, again, do you want that stuff going in and taking chances on all the things we just, unboxed? Same thing with the spray sunscreens. And one of my longtime clients now, oh my gosh, my kids were so little. She was at the beach, Natalie. She was there with her son. Now I think she's got 3 kids now, but we were at the beach, random day, your kids, they make friends and start playing. And my kids, God bless them, they've known all of these things and they've lived with the holistic mom. My 14-year-old said to me one day, I hate this lifestyle. And I was laughing. That was all about me making him eat breakfast before school. But we were at the beach and they were playing with this other little boy, and they saw the mother grab the spray sunscreen out of the bag. It was like copper tone or something. I don't remember, but this was years ago. And start spraying it. And they come running over to me. They're like, she's got the toxic stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, kind of cringing, because this was back before I was really out there. I spent years going around the country speaking on this topic and educating. But this was prior to that. I was just beginning to process this for my own family. I was certainly not comfortable preaching or going out to, going up to someone saying, hey, that's toxic. My kids clearly were. So they told her, my son said to her, hey, do you know that is toxic? And he didn't say it causes cancer or anything like that. And she came over and talked to me. And do you know that we still keep in touch? She follows and is part of my community. If you're not part of my Facebook community, the Confidently Healthy Collective, it's a free community where you can ask questions if you're looking for products, if you're looking for some guidance, you want to connect with like-minded people who are looking to stay their healthiest and work on preventative measures. She's been in there for probably 10 years or more now. My kids were really small back then, but she said it changed her life, or my son changed her life by even bringing it up, because she had no idea, and she has switched so many of her products, and we keep in touch. So just, again, sometimes you don't know, but the spray sunscreens, again, if they seem convenient, think about the fact that you're breathing those chemicals. And chemical-induced asthma, there's more people with asthma than ever before, lung cancer. It's just better to take the time to apply the lotions, or if you're going to do spray one, get one that's better ingredients. Again, I will have some of that stuff in the show notes if you scroll down. I want to talk about chlorine. Oh my gosh, pools and chlorine. My kids have spent so many days in pools. Most pools are not salt water, right? If you have the option, salt water is definitely the way to go. But chlorine in pools, chlorine in your shower, by the way, that's a whole other episode. But chlorine is necessary to keep pools clean, but it can also cause respiratory problems, hormone problems, and it's not a good thing. So I want to just tell you that there is a company that I'm not affiliated with, but I'm really, really impressed that I recently saw Row Casa Organics. It's ROWCASA Organics. Looks like they had a nice line of products. They have a swim spray. So crazy. They caught me on Instagram and I looked it up, and it's really cool. You spray this on, or spray it on before your kids as a barrier or protector so that you don't absorb the chlorine. And they show tests. If you look at their Instagram, I've seen videos where it shows in a test how the chlorinated pool doesn't affect or go through your skin barrier with the spray. I think it's just amazing. So might be something for you all to look into, especially with your hair too. It kills your hair, but a lot of people get itchy and burning and dryness. I know my youngest son always complains, like, I'm so itchy after he goes in the pool. Well, yeah, no wonder. So take a look at their products. Looks like an amazing company. I will again reiterate bug spray alternatives, essential oils, catnip oil, sunscreens, mineral based is the way to go, and make sure it's non-nano particleized. Pure Haven is my go-to. There are a couple other brands I'll put in the show notes. Moisturizers with SPF, again, Pure Haven for me. Bug repellent candles, you're still smelling those things, right? So make sure that you're not, paraffin wax again is the bottom of the oil barrel. It's petroleum, it's the sludge. So look for something that is made from like coconut wax or a soy wax or something like that. Pure Haven has bug repellent candles. The swim care, I love that. Casa Row has this chlorine neutralizing spray. Looks pretty cool. But again, I remember like 2 decades ago when I started learning about this stuff, and I was shocked to start checking my own cabinets. I realized that many of these products I was using daily, sometimes multiple times a day, were taking a toll on my body, my health, my family's health. And it's important stuff. So it took years and it's still not perfect, but making the switch to hormone-friendly products and reducing your chances of cancer and inflammation and taxing your immune system. It's really, really important. I recommend swapping products out as you run out. You're not just going to go and throw everything away, but when you run out of something or it's a big start of the summer season, ask yourself, is this supporting our health or is there a better option? And, just again, do the best that you can. Join the Confidently Healthy Collective if you're on Facebook. Shoot me an email. If you have questions, I am always here to help you. And thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, make sure that you share it with your friends and family because it's really, really important stuff. And it's everyone's birthright to be healthy and thrive. Let's make some informed decisions and enjoy a safe, happy summer. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Confidently Balancing Your Hormones. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to share it with a friend and also hit follow at the top of this podcast. If you have a couple of minutes and you can leave a quick review, it will help other women in need find this podcast. You can find me on Instagram at confidently_love_yourself. I would love to stay connected and hear from you.